Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open one of the most influential self-help books ever written, Napoleon Hill's classic, Think and Grow Rich. We're going to distill the core formula that's said to have made countless millionaires. And here's the secret, right from the start. It has nothing to do with your wallet. It all starts in your mind.
All right, let's jump right in with the story. Seriously, this one story gets to the absolute heart of Hill's entire message. It's all about persistence, especially when you're this close to giving up. So, imagine this. You're a guy named Mr. Darby, and you're digging for gold. You hit a dead end, you get frustrated, and you just quit. You sell off all your equipment for basically nothing. Well, the guy who buys it, he brings in an expert who finds out that a massive vein of gold was waiting just 3 feet. 3 feet from where you stopped digging. Can you believe that? 3 feet. And what Hill found was that Darby's story, it wasn't some one-off thing. After talking to hundreds of the most successful people on the planet, he saw this exact same pattern over and over again. Their greatest success, their biggest breakthrough, almost always came right after what looked like total, undeniable failure. The secret, he figured out, was just not quitting. So you gotta wonder, right? How did this young journalist manage to figure all this out, to uncover this secret formula for success? Well, the story behind the book is actually just as amazing as the principles inside it.
You know, it all kicked off with a challenge from one of the richest men who ever lived, Andrew Carnegie. He saw something in a young Napoleon Hill and basically gave him the assignment of a lifetime. Spend the next 20 years of your life studying the world's most successful people and figure out their secrets. Then boil it all down into a formula that literally anyone could use.
And get this, Hill actually did it. I mean, this wasn't some small project. It became his 20-year obsession. For 2 whole decades, he interviewed over 500 of the biggest names of the time. We're talking titans like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, even Theodore Roosevelt, all to find out what made them so different, what really made them tick. So, after all that incredible research, after talking to all those legends, what was the very first principle he discovered? You might think it was about money or business tactics, but nope. He found that everything, and I mean everything, starts with a very specific state of mind. He called it a burning desire. And look, Hill makes a huge distinction here, and it's so important. Just wishing for money, that's passive. It's just a hope, and it'll get you exactly nowhere. But a burning desire? Oh, that's something else entirely. That's an active, all-consuming obsession. He says it's the real starting point for any great achievement. And he didn't just leave it at that. He gave a super practical 6-step formula to turn that fuzzy wish into a laser-focused goal. You have to decide on the exact amount of money, you have to know exactly what you'll give in return, you need a firm date, you need a plan. Then, and this is key, you write it all down and read it out loud every morning and every night, truly believing and feeling as if you already have the money. It's about programming your mind. And listen, this isn't just some motivational fluff. The great Thomas Edison saw this play out right in front of him with his partner, Edwin C. Barnes. This guy Barnes showed up with literally no money, no connections, nothing, except this powerful, unshakable desire to work with Edison. It took him 5 years, but that burning desire is what eventually made him Edison's business partner. Okay, so a burning desire is the engine, right? But an engine by itself doesn't go anywhere. You need a car. And for Hill, that vehicle is built with 3 essential parts: the right kind of knowledge, solid plans, and, crucially, the right people around you.
Here's another huge insight from the book. Just knowing stuff isn't enough. Knowledge, he says, is only potential power. It's useless sitting in your head. It only becomes real power when you organize it and actually use it in a concrete plan of action. It's why he said the most successful people never, ever stop learning. It's a non-stop process.
But here's something Hill was really passionate about. You absolutely cannot do it alone. This brings us to one of his most famous ideas, the mastermind. Now, what is that? It's the idea that when 2 or more people team up in total harmony for a specific goal, they create this kind of third invisible mind that's way more powerful than their individual minds. It's like a creative and spiritual energy that multiplies their power. And again, he gives us a blueprint for how to do it. You have to find the right people you need to make your plan happen. Figure out what you can offer them in return. It has to be a 2-way street. Meet with them regularly. And most importantly, you have to maintain perfect harmony in the group. Think about it. No great empire, not Ford's, not Carnegie's, was ever built by just one person.
So, you've got the desire, the knowledge, the plans, the people. But all of that, all those external things, they all depend on one thing: your ability to master your own inner world. This, right here, is where the real work happens.
So Hill basically asks this really pointed question: what's truly holding you back? If this formula is out there, why isn't everyone successful? He argues it's almost never a lack of opportunity or talent. Nope, the biggest roadblocks aren't out there in the world, they're the ones we build inside our own heads.
And he actually boiled it down to what he called the 6 basic fears that just crush our ambition. You can see them here: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. But for anyone trying to achieve financial success, he said the fear of poverty and the fear of what other people will think, the fear of criticism, those two are especially destructive. They can stop you before you even take the first step.
But here's the game changer, the ultimate realization. These fears, they aren't real. They're just a state of mind. They're just thoughts. And while you can't control the stock market, or the weather, or what other people say, you have absolute 100% control over your own mind. It's the one thing in the universe you can truly master. And that really brings us full circle, back to the big takeaway from Think and Grow Rich. The real gold, the greatest riches, they aren't buried in the ground somewhere like Mr. Darby's lost treasure. They're right there, waiting to be uncovered inside your own mind, through desire, through faith, and through sheer persistence. So the only real question left is, your mind is a gold mine. Are you ready to start digging?